For our very first meeting, when we took our oath, the chairman had sent a copy of these bylaws out to each committee, to each precinct chairman. The Rules Committee in the first and second meeting voted to amend those, but those weren't official votes because we didn't have a full quorum. But this document has been floating around out there for a long time.
I realize that, but I mean that was a long time ago. I don't really recall what all it is.
You have a motion?
Why don't you read it?
Is there a motion, or do you want the rule?
Isn't it? Call the question. Motion about not reading them, isn't there? There was a motion.
Parliamentary inquiry.
It was indeed seconded. Call the question.
No question. Parliamentary inquiry.
Calling question is actually out of order without opportunity for debate, so I'll open the floor to discussion for the motion to suspend the reading. Do you have a comment on for or against that motion?
Okay, we're going on the reading. No, my recommending was for the dates, which would be those for and those against for discussion of the recommended way of handling it. But we're not at that point.
I think we're almost to that point.
I thought that would come before suspending the reading. People for we already voted to second to suspend the reading. All right.
If she didn't take time to read it since she had it since July 5th, then it's not important enough for her to read it.
Point of order?
Point of order.
I believe you're supposed to be addressed.
Yes, that's correct.
Not other members.
That's correct.
Question.
Hold on, sir.
They voted to suspend the reading. That still allows you to speak for and against.
Oh, yeah, we can speak for and against it. Yeah.
All right. Double checking. There was a vote, and there was a motion, a second, and a vote on a motion to suspend the reading. That passed. So now we have bylaws on the floor
To adopt.
Any discussion?
I'm opening the floor for the discussion for the bylaws first. Mr. Knight has already spoken for the bylaws once. I'll allow 2 more for the bylaws, and I'll allow 3 against.
There has to be a motion before we speak for and against. Am I correct? Check with the
We
parliamentarians.
didn't make that yet?
No, I think, did you make the motion to adopt the rule? The suspension is done. Motion to adopt. Is there a second to adopt? To adopt? Not just to suspend, but to adopt?
To adopt.
That motion was already made.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Motion to adopt, and then needs to be
So we can
seconded, and now it's open for debate. Someone called the question. That was out of order because there's been no time for debate. There's a reasonable opportunity for debate. Ms. Knight.
Well, I wanted to discuss, so we're going to have comments about it, is that right?
Yes. We had a 4-person already. Are you for or against, going to speak for or against the bylaws?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Is there anyone that wishes to speak against the bylaws as proposed to the floor?
Speak for.
I'm sorry? I can't hear you.
I wanted to speak for.
You gotta wait till we go.
No, I know, I'm just telling you. I don't want to raise my hand and you call me again. I'd be the last one.
Once again, anybody that wanted to speak against? Okay, somebody that wants to speak for. Ms. Knight actually rose before you did, Mr. Jones.
Yes,
and
sir.
She's been very patiently waiting. Ms. Knight, you have the floor.
This is very important, that we have the right to vote on things, which we have done in the past. We usually do that. And this is what is giving us the right to vote on things that happen, like appointments by the chair, and if he appoints a committee, if he appoints officers, that type of thing. We need to be given the opportunity to vote up or down on the things that the chairman presents. And that's what this is. I'm giving you a concise, I'm not going into detail here, but the sections are highlighted to show you what's important about giving the executive committee, which is our body, the chance to be here and make a difference. If we're not going to vote on anything, I don't see any point in having this committee.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Is there anyone else that wants to speak against? Anyone else for? Mr. Jones.
I'm going to be brief. I want to say, first of all, that I don't believe that the chair was interested in implementing rules to create dictatorial power. I just believe that the rule that they adopted from the manual was not understood to be limited to small startup counties where the chair has to do everything. So that's the way I'm just taking it. That was the rules that they had. They had the discussion, and what I'm going to believe is that because many of the members who are sitting up here now forced most of us, and I'm including myself, to go back to the books, go back to the manual, hold precinct conventions, do Robertson, and that's what this is the fruit of. People learning to handle their business in an appropriate way, and that's what this is about. And I think the bylaws pass on more of that. It's not just power and authority, it's responsibility. Now we've got more responsibility if we adopt this, and those rules did that. So those rules, in fact, my understanding is that the county chair, Stephen Sterry, is going to remove those as recommended from the county manual, because he knows how inadequate that they are. So, like I said, I believe that this was the rules. They wanted to get this done because there was an absence of rules. There was an absence of bylaws. Now we have one, and we got a working set, and we got one that once again empowers the people in the precinct. So holding precinct conventions, working your precincts, coming and voting on minutes, volunteering, offering yourself for service. It's in our lap now if we adopt these. So now if you don't plan on taking that responsibility, then don't vote for it.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. What happened to brief? I'm joking. Oh, what?
For him, 3.5 hours every morning.
Very good, Bob.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak for or against these bylaws, Ms. Rose?
Well, actually the bylaws that y'all proposed really remind me of that you would appoint czars, unlike the Obama administration. And so what's the point of having us to do anything? But it's there, and we'd be like the American people watching you be the dictator. And this is the Republican Party, and I suggest we act like Republicans and we vote responsibly.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Yes, ma'am.
If the bylaws are passed, the effective date of those are today?
Immediately.
Point of information.
Yes, ma'am.
If these are passed, does that negate any appointments made without vote of the executive committee?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Call the question.
Point of information? What do you mean, not necessarily? Is it yes or no?
Doesn't automatically do so.
That's correct.
Correct.
The bylaws will be effective as written. All right. Is there any more debate? Any more speaking for or against? Is there
Mr.
on
Chairman,
the motion? Yes, sir.
just a quick question. I know that the committee was really concerned about the 8 standing committees, and Tom felt like we could fill those committees, and I was saying that I'm concerned because I'm going and I'm not seeing, but we did see a lot of you at the committee hearings, and we appreciate your input. I know And Tom, I hope I did not disrespect. I know some people inferred, but I wasn't. I was there at all the meetings, and I was on time, and I participated actively, and I supported Tom's work. But I'm concerned because when I go down to headquarters, I don't see very many people down there, and I just want to make sure that we're all going to, like Bob said, the responsibility is going to be back on us to be actively involved, whether you agree with these or not agree with these. So, do you feel, Mr. Chairman, that there'd be enough to fill the 8 standing committees participation?
As I understand it, if there's nobody volunteering, I really can't make appointments.
Okay.
Tom, do you have anything to add to that since you wrote them?
What will need to happen now is that each of you take time to read the committee job description. I'm confident that we have enough precinct chairmen to serve as chairman of those committees. I'm confident that we have enough of you to serve as members of the committee, and I'm confident that we have enough volunteers, people wanting to work for the Republican Party, to fill those committees.
For point of information, but the chairman still appoints. He said he doesn't appoint anymore. He can appoint, but with advice and consent.
Yes, the chairman will appoint with the advice and consent of this committee, the chairman of the standing committees, also the chairman of any special committees or temporary committees. Then the committee chairman will have the responsibility of recruiting their committee. And when they've got their full complement of committee members, they will recommend the appointment of that committee to the chair.
Do the proposed bylaws require committee members to be precinct chairs?
No, they don't.
Yes, Tom.
Committee chairperson.
Point of information. It says the chairman of each standing committee shall be a member of the executive committee and appointed by the county chairman with the advice and consent of the executive committee.
Okay. My understanding, that is a majority of the executive committee.
That's right there under Article 4.
Now, I was just checking to see if those provided, if the committee men themselves, the committee people, not the chairman, just the people, can be anyone in the Republican Party.
Yes, they can.
Yes. Otherwise, we're hamstrung.
Yeah.
We're all going to be busy. All right.
And another point on that, man, is the chairman was, from what I understand, the rules made an appointment and it wasn't approved, then the chairman has to make another appointment for certain positions, but still the point, he doesn't lose the ability to name.
Correct.
That's correct.
Question?
Okay.
This, I haven't read it yet, but it seems like an awful lot of words to explain what you can vote on, what you can't, or how to do it. I don't remember any rules before that are so detailed. Do they need to be that detailed in a rules thing?
These bylaws are an up-to-date version of the same document that the Nueces County Republican Party operated under from 1982 to 1992.
And they couldn't make decisions without all these.
We wanted to, it was important to provide checks and balances.
Point of information.
Yes, sir.
You said appointments could be approved by the majority of the executive committees. I think the way it's been done in the past is the majority of the executive committee present. Because when you call a meeting, not everybody's going to show up.
That would be correct. It's the majority of the members present at the meeting. And I believe that's what the bylaws say.
Right. The only time you would require a full committee, a quorum of the full committee, would be when we are electing new precinct chairmen.